You're listening to the No Gimmicks Needed Rewind. Right here on the No Gimmicks Needed Rewind, we going back in the day of the Nerd Coalition's wrestling podcast and getting all the segments that you guys missed that did not carry over to Nerd Coalition Studios. So if you guys like things from the original podcast, make sure you stay tuned right here every single week on YouTube and listen to the Rewind. Now let's see what we have for you in store today. What's going on YouTube? It's Sensei, the place to be. Chilling with your Mr. A&E, back to give you guys another review here, and we're doing the Hall of Fame. For some reason, I do the Hall of Fame review every single year, and it's very hard when people, you know, that they very rarely watch my Hall of Fame. People watch Hall of Fame stuff, so when I put it up, everybody has been clamoring to watch it. So I decided, well, let's just do it every single year. And joining me as the one who's at the Hall of Fame today live, for his phone is clicking a lot, is the hard R for the Soul Track Enterprise Quattro.
Hey, how y'all doing out there?
All right. We're doing good. I hope everything's alright because your phone was clicking a lot over there.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. I think I was messing with the cord. That's probably what that was.
Okay. So we got the Hall of Fame class of 2019 being headlined by the Generation X. Along with in the class, we have Honky Tonk Man, Tori Wilson, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Harlem Heat, and the Warrior Reward recipient, Susan. What is her name?
All I know is Sue. I can't remember her last name. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's quite alright. We are all in that boat right now. I'm just trying to remember this shit. But I'm actually gonna pull it up right now because I'm not gonna disrespect this woman's name for all the stuff that she has did. And I liked her speech as well.
I mean, without going into it, her contributions to what she said from Make-A-Wish just sound utterly ridiculous. Not ridiculous in a bad way, but ridiculous in a good way.
Exactly. And, you know, it actually her bringing up the people that was there. And you know what? And the Legacy Awards, which featured Luna Vachon, which I'm actually shocked about because, first of all, Luna Vachon, I think, is somebody, along with everybody else, should be somebody who gets inducted like on her own, not being wrapped up in this Legacy Award stuff. But I'll get to all that kind of stuff in a minute. And because they had like a shitload of Legacy Award stuff. So you were there in the Barclays Center, and WWE did this new format for the Hall of Fame.
So as soon as I walk in there,
yeah.
I look at my buddy Brett, and the first thing I said, I was like, "Now, am I crazy or is this different?"
Yeah.
Because, and he was like, "No." He was like, "They used to always be on stage." I was like, "They're in ring now." I was like, "What's going on?" He said, "They could probably get better camera angles." So I was like, "All right, I see that, but I don't know if I like it because you don't get to see all your peers like you once did before." But,
yeah. That now.
But,
you go ahead.
I was like, but at being there and seeing how they laid out, depending, I don't know, from the camera angle, did it look really full?
It looked like, how do I say it? I mean, it obviously it was full, but it just looked very stagey and very Raw and Smackdown-esque.
Well, let me tell you this. From being there, the angles you didn't see, it had like, so looking at the screen, going to the right, there was a red rope. After the red rope was fans. So there was some fans on the floor, but they was like gated off in their own section.
Okay.
Now you go on the other side, everybody from what you saw from behind the camera, that row was full all the way back. The fans was full already rolled to the side. Now, if you go to where the camera was at, they had about 2 rows, then space. If you go to the left of that, they had about 3 rows, then space. So I was thinking, I was like, y'all did it like this for spacing to make it look more full than what it actually is. Because if you look where the crowd was at, from where it was focusing, there was seats filled in there. There was a good amount of people in there. But at the same time, there was a good amount of space in there as well. The seat next to me was empty. Now, it's not like I was on the floor at all.
Yeah.
but the seat next to me was empty. I look around and I can see space. I can see people. A lot of people filled in actually rather late. People was filling in after Bret Hart's speech.
Okay. Well, I mean, me personally, I was watching it on TV. I was like, I don't like this new format. Now I know Vince was changing a lot of things this year because all the people didn't have inductees. Jerry the King Lawler wasn't hosting the show anymore. And
Corey Graves and Renee Young.
Yeah, Renee Young, and them having this open ring, I think that it is really bad because you have your back towards a lot of the superstars and the fans. And, you know, it's like that whole Titantron area. Now, I don't know if they couldn't do it in time or if it was just lazy and they want to try something new. That's fine. But I'm like, I like the actual them being on the Titantron stage, making that a Hall of Fame stage. It felt more like a ceremony. It felt more personable. And that way, all the fans can see you. And that way, all the superstars right there in the middle where the ring's supposed to be at, they can sit there. And I know Vince didn't want none of them trying to sneak off. So I think the reason why Vince did that is because he wanted to have an eye in the back on the camera to see who was sneaking off and who was still there. I get it, but I really think that, you know, the aurora of the Hall of Fame and them actually talking to the whole audience and everything of that nature, I think it's better that way. It's easier for people to sneak off the way they had it last year. That's what happened with Goldberg. So I know Vince wanted to make sure people were staying there. So now it's kind of the way he wanted to put the hard cam on them, so he knows that who's staying and who's leaving. Even though I still feel as though that this is not. I hope they don't do this next year.
And as well, because I was still noticing people leaving and people coming in as like seat fillers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, so that really does happen.
So, we go to the Hall of Fame. Don't worry, we will talk about what everybody came on here to hear us talk about. And I came in kind of late on the Hall of Fame. Who went first?
The first person was Honky Tonk Man.
Okay, Honky Tonk Man got inducted by Jimmy Hart, longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. So, how was his speech?
So just to give the background in, and then now it's Jimmy Hart. Now, when Jimmy Hart got there, I appreciated his speech from the gate because his speech was focused on the Honky Tonk Man. I like when somebody does their job. I'm here to get you over. I'm not here trying to get myself over.
Ric Flair, sorry.
Right, and he didn't even come in and give away all of Honky's stories. He came in and hyped up Honky Tonk Man. He did this, he did that, he was here for this, he was this, and I'm talking about this man, the Honky Tonk Man. So his speech might have only been like 5-10 minutes at the longest. I don't even think it was 10. But then the music goes off. You see the new graphic for the Honky Tonk Man, and he drives in a pink Cadillac with a girl that looked like Cherry from Deuce and Domino times.
All right.
Honky Tonk Man is in full character too. Comes out with the guitar, comes out in the outfit. He's coming to the ring, and he's shake, rattling, and rolling. I'm like, oh, look at this. That instantly hyped up the crowd for a Honky Tonk Man chant.
Okay.
And in his speech, he was just very grateful. He thanked Jimmy Hart. Of course, he thanked the fans. He thanked a lot of the wrestlers that I can't remember because so much happened tonight. He thanked a lot of people, how he got there. He explained in WWE how if it wasn't for them, his character would have never got over. Because he talked about how back then, how at other territories, his character was not getting over. And WWE was like, we're going to make this work. And they made this work.
Okay.
So, and then even at the end of the speech, when he was about to walk off, Jimmy was like, nope, we're not going to end like this. We're not going to end with applause. You got to perform your song. So the song played on the background, and he was just like singing parts of it. And I get it. I'm like, all right, you old. And then he like walked around the ring singing parts of the song. And that's when you got the New Day dancing. The New Day was like, I don't know if they stole the fire from everybody at the Hall of Fame, but they was involved a lot.
They was involved a lot this whole Hall of Fame.
So you see them dancing with the Honky Tonk Man, having a good time. Even Kofi's son is there doing a shake, rattle, and roll. So it's like, and of course the crowd would love that. So all in all, I think Honky Tonk had a good speech. He said thank you. He said how he got there, and he saw how appreciative he was to the company that got him there. Mm-hmm. Can't be mad at it.
You right. Okay. Now, next up was Tori Wilson, correct?
Yes.
Okay, next up was Tori Wilson being inducted by Stacy Keebler, correct?
Yep. Now, the first thing I noticed when Stacy came out, I was like, I don't know if that's her old song from back in the day, but whatever. It could have been, it could have not. It's been a long time since I heard Stacy Keebler's song. So Stacy Keebler came in, and she talked about her coming into business, and her first person that she met was Stacy Keebler. And how Stacy Keebler was always her friend, and how Stacy felt like a dumb blonde just trying to figure it out. But Tori was also there as another dumb blonde trying to figure it out, and how they bonded over that. So she focused on Tori's friendship before she announced Tori out. Tori came out to the ring, still looking beautiful, still looking great.
Yeah.
She came to the ring, and she was like, she started off thanking a couple people, and then she was like, oh, I want to get down to it. Most of y'all are wondering why I'm here. And I was like, yeah. She was like, gave a story about how she was young, and how people called her fat, and that she could never become anything and stuff like that, and how that was drive for her to combat all the haters. So she had something to say for haters that say she don't belong in the Hall of Fame. She was like, I know y'all here saying I don't have the athletic ability to be here, and talked about that. She talked about how they was like, she was like, oh, you probably think other people should be here in front of before me. I understand that. I think other people should be here outside me too. And talked about that. She talked about all other wrestlers she respected in the business. Like, she was like, I want to thank my fan, like Victoria. She was like, I want to thank Billy Kidman. So she started calling out like a lot of people that meant a lot to her in her career. She talked about how happy she was that her father got her to see her come this far, but then she announced that my father died 2 days ago. He's not even here. He died this week. So he can't even see this right now. And she, like, you can see her turning the crowd. She even took a point to saying out, she was like, you don't understand how hard y'all are to deal with as a crowd. She was like, you don't know what it's like trying to win you guys over. She was like, you don't know how many bra and panties matches I had to be in. You don't know what it was like being a Nitro girl. And she pretty much shut people up. And I was like, I like that you came out in attack mode. Because she knew what she was dealing with. You could tell she prepared for this. Now, I'm not gonna lie, she had a teleprompter up there helping her.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if she wrote down what she wanted to say, then read it off the teleprompter, but it did come off very natural. Like, there was a lot of points where she was looking away from the teleprompter, just talking that. So I was like, oh, that's her speech. Didn't nobody write that for her. And I liked her speech a lot. To me, she had the strongest speech of the night.
Now, I will say this, okay, because when Tori Wilson got announced to go into the Hall of Fame, you know, I'll be honest with you, I was not happy with that pick. And I am also under the realization that I didn't know that one day Tori Wilson was going to go into the Hall of Fame. Just not before such and such, such and such, such and such. So overall, probably being in the Hall of Fame, like, she will get in there someday. Like Stacy Keebler will get in there someday. Just like a lot of other women in that bra and panties era it wasn't going to get in there. And but there's some of the people that I think should be in there as well. So I want to go back and see the speech or what it is, and coming in attack mode. You know, that's all well and good. I'm proud of her for doing that. I'm proud of her for standing strong and being all in there. And I will still have the feeling that WWE does not acknowledge people that probably should have way been in this Hall of Fame before she did, because of legal issues, personal issues, or whatever the case may be. And I really think that a lot of people are, well, I mean, a lot of people out there are just mad because it's Tori Wilson. And there are a lot of people out there who are just upset to the fact that it's not a fact that Tori Wilson's going to the Hall of Fame. It's the fact that there's so many lists of people, women, that have not gone to the Hall of Fame yet, and it sucks when the people we felt as though that will get in eventually are getting in now, and the people who deserve to be in there now are dying. And since they're dying, they don't have a chance to, go out and tell their own stories. Everybody's telling them for them, and that's what makes me angry. China should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago. And I look at the different women like Sable, Luna Vachon, which we're about to get into, should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago. But now she gets lumped in with these legacy, which not saying that they don't all deserve to be in there one-on-one as well, but it's just, it leaves a bitter taste in my mouth about that. And it's not her fault. She got the call. If somebody called me and said, hey, Mr. A&E, you're going to go to this college basketball Hall of Fame, I'm not going to say, well, I don't deserve it. I'm going to take it. Even though I know damn well in my head, and I know that I didn't deserve that, or there's somebody else who earned it before I did. But I'm not going to take it away. But for her to come out in attack mode, I'm proud for her. I'm going to go back and watch the her speech and everything. I am so sorry about passing of Al Wilson, because that's that was her, the whole storyline they had with him and Dawn Marie and stuff like that. So I am very sorry about that.
It was funny when that came up and they showed the picture of Dawn Marie and her father. She said, Dawn Marie, wherever you're at, you don't understand how happy you made my father.
Wow. So,
I ain't gonna lie, I'd have been happy too.
So, and you know what? Like I said, the bra and panties matches and doing all the very explicit stuff to try to get the fans over, stuff like that. I know that she probably wasn't comfortable with a lot of that stuff. And, I am thankful for her to do that, because there had to be somebody to do it going up into that era. It still's not going to change the fact that there are some women who did the same thing that I think that WWE should acknowledge first, because they're not going to be here. None of these wrestlers, but nobody's here forever. And it just bothers me that somebody else got to speak for somebody else. That's one of the reasons. I'm going to get to the whole China thing later. But so that's the thing. So if I see the speech, I'm like, okay, I'll have a heartstring for it. It ain't going to change my mind on thinking that Tori Wilson is a Hall of Famer later. Where I think some people she could have probably went in there now. That's what I'm saying. Because I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, man, that's an emotional speech. Let me double back on what I said. Because I hate people that do that, too. Own your shit. So, but congratulations to her. They did have these legacy awards. And the legacy awards now is for them to put in a group of Hall of Famers and wrestlers who people, especially in this generation, don't know. So I call them the black and whites, but I know these wrestlers, because I'm a wrestling fan, that they all should be in the Hall of Fame someday. But if you induct them, people are going to be like, who? Because we know Vince is trying to sell tickets. And Vince wants...
what's funny?
What's up?
No, just talking on that, you can hear that in the crowd. Like when they announced Luna, people were cheering. But even in the way I'm about to describe it right now, when they announced Tajiri's tag team partner, people was like, okay.
Exactly.
And I can mean that in the way I just said it, because I knew who Luna was, but I absolutely don't know Tajiri's tag team partner name. Mr. Fuji, excuse me.
I'm saying, but no, that's what I'm saying. So this group this year was Bruiser Brody, which in my automatic opinion, Bruiser Brody is a Hall of Famer without this being grouped into this Legacy Award thing. Voodoo McDaniel, one of the Native American wrestlers that we had. Luna Vachon, who, like I said, I will praise that she, for the fans of Vachon family, she should have been there by herself. Special Delivery Jones should was inducted. He should have been there by himself. Professor Tor Takada got inducted. Primo Corina which I know I'm pronouncing the name wrong, so please forgive me. Joseph Kanan, Hisashi Shimiana, I think that's the James Party you're talking about.
Right.
And then Buddy Rose and Jim Barnett, which I know Jim Barnett should be in there by himself. But once again, you have a generation who don't know them wrestlers. Or who don't really talk about the wrestler. They get lumped in the Legacy Award. But I'm happy they all got named to the Hall of Fame. So, that's good. Coming up next is the incident that everybody was talking about.
But before that,
something
that they was doing, they did it, at least, I want to say, so they did it 3 times during the night, but I think this was one of the first times when they showed The Miz and everybody was like, yay, real cheery, real happy. Then they showed Shane and he got really strong moves. Then they showed The Miz again, who was like making faces with Marty's posing at the crowd like, yay. Then they showed The Miz and then they showed Shane and he was getting strong moves. I like how they used that as a filler point just to keep the crowd interacted. And of course, The Miz being The Miz was selling everything. Selling all the way. So yeah. I like that they did that, and they did it 3 times during the night, and I think that was the first time when they did it at that point.
Okay, because I know they did it with the triple threat match, and they definitely did it with Kofi and Daniel Bryan.
Oh, and what made the Daniel Bryan part funny was he just turned his back to the camera.
Yeah.
It was straight heelish when he turned his back to the camera like, forget y'all.
Bruh, the way...
And Becky, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, the way y'all erupted for Kofi Kingston, he better win tomorrow night.
You know, Kofi can't lose this, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he can't.
If Kofi lose this, there might not be a MetLife Center after tomorrow.
So,
and like they show Ronda, she's smiling and happy, but the boobs were strong. They show Charlotte, and she got the face, well, whatever, boobs were strong. And then they showed Becky. Once again,
and everybody was hyped for Becky.
Everybody hyped for Becky, and Becky just looking around like, I don't know why I deserve this, but okay, it's cool. Yay.
Next up is the Hart Foundation. I was pretty pumped about the Hart Foundation. I was hoping just that, he doesn't talk about, well, I don't want him not to talk about Owen because, but I don't want him beating a dead horse.
Right.
And the whole Martha thing, because look, it's just not going to happen while she's alive. It's just not going to happen. So he was talking, but it was about the Envoy. He was up there with Natalya as well, because that's her dad, and he was about to talk. He was about to tell his stories and stuff, and he was into the stories. And then some asshole.
Wait, if I may, before that.
Yes.
Just to get Natalya's part out the way, and I don't want to say it like that. I think Natalya did the best job she can in honoring her father.
Okay.
She talked about how much the business meant to her dad. Mm-hmm. Talked about how he only talked about his times on the road. And even she brought up a personal story about how they wanted her father to write a book. And she was like, this is an amazing idea, Dad. You can finally get out your story. And he was like, I don't want to do that. And she was like, why? Why don't you want to do that? He said, the best things I've done in my life are you girls, his kids, and wrestling. And me giving away part of wrestling is like me giving away a part of my family life. So that showed how connected he was. And then she also said that was also the last conversation she had with her father.
Wow.
So and she thanked her mom because she know how much it was to deal with her dad. She said he would thank all his kids because how much they meant to him. She said she would thank Brett. He was like, he would thank Owen, and that was it. She didn't even go into it. She was like, he would thank Owen, and how he loved wrestling, doing tag matches with the British Bulldogs, and how she knows the Bulldogs and him are all upstairs watching down on this, or probably together having a beer talking about this and waiting for Brett to come join them one day. So I think she did such a good job of honoring her father. Definitely the best she could do before she handed off the mic to Brett. And then, like you were saying.
Oh yeah, so and that sounded good because I came in and I see that the screen was on the fans. I was like, is something with the fans? Why are they showing these fans right here? And and then the crowd was going on, and then so I seen everybody breaking up Bret Hart, and I was like, oh shit, did Bret Hart get in a fight with like a Martha supporter or something? I really was thinking that. I thought it was like a wrestling fight, or Martha came out and they were like scrapping. But then so I was like, wait a minute, I'm watching the network. Let me rewind it. So I rewinded it, and I watched the whole watched some of the people you talking about the Anvil, and this guy comes up in the ring and grabs Bret Hart behind him, and then the screen goes to black. They cut the feed, and then they go to the audience. Now, I didn't see what's going to happen. I just heard all the cheers, and then you sent me video.
Cool. Now, when this happens, so we're sitting there, we're watching the speech and everything, enjoying it, and there's a guy that hits the ring and tackles Brett. When I said we were frozen, buddy. Like, we were frozen and we couldn't move for about, it was easily, that's why I don't have video of the tackle. I have video.
So he actually takes Bret Hart down on his feet?
He took Bret Hart straight down to the mat. Bret Hart went all the way down.
That's crazy.
Bret Hart got down to the mat. As soon as he hits the mat, we're like, what's going on? I look at my buddy, and all I got was one word. I said video, and I kept repeating it. Video, 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 video. So at that point, that's when we took out our phones and recorded the video, which you may see a snippet of if you check out our Facebook page under the name Nerd Coalition. So he takes him down to the mat, and at that moment, Edge, Tyson Kidd, The Revival, The New Day, and Rhonda kicked off her shoes and hit that mat straight after him.
Yeah.
There's security guards. There's people. They try to pull Natty to the side because she got bumped too. Because they were standing directly next to each other. So Natty got bumped to the side, and the guy takes down Brett. It was some guy in a white t-shirt and a Rastafarian hat.
Yeah, I see the, yeah. It's in the thumbnail. Uh-huh.
They took him down, and when I said they start trashing this man, they pulled him off, trashed him, threw him to the outside. And when I said there was easily about 40 people on this man, down to even when they was carrying him out, I can't tell if that was a security guard or Kevin Owens. It could look like it could have been either one of those two people.
Somebody got a shot in and took him to the ground.
Yeah, got a good shot. A good shot. Oh, it was Dash. Okay, thank you. It was Dash Wilder. Got a good shot on him and took him down.
Wow. Now, because when I seen the video, somebody when they was walking him to the bag, he hit like an undercut shot at him, and I was just like, oh shit! I just seen him collapse, and I was just like, that reminded me of Brock and Braun in Philly at the Royal Rumble. I was like, who hit him like that? And I was just like, what's going on here? And I seen everybody in the ring, and Edge and everybody was in the ring. I was like, bruh, the last person you want to tackle is Bret Hart.
Right. Let's be real. Bret Hart is a senior citizen.
But he's a cancer survivor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Just like you said, cancer survivor, lived through a stroke. Two strokes. Mm-hmm. Everything he's been through in his life with that company, let's add this on top. You serious?
I was like, what? See, You know what? This is also when I was watching this. I was just like, this is why I think the new format doesn't really work. Because you can't bum rush that stage the way they had it last year. Now that since you have like a wrestling ring, which is like a regular Raw and SmackDown, you can seep through all the stuff because cameras ain't really looking at you, and you got the fans a little bit too close to the superstars, in my personal opinion. Because it's like when we go to Raw and we sit in the front row, that's where the superstars are sitting at. And I'm like, but it's out the barricade, and I'm like, okay. And then you got a red rope, which we all know that rope ain't gonna do much. You got the fans that's right behind them. Where they was on the stage, you know, they had the fans. All that security had that blocked off.
You want to hear the wild thing? He didn't come from the red rope side.
Where'd he come from?
He came from the side with the wrestlers, so he had to somehow run around the back to them and come up. That's why I said he came from the side near the ramp.
That's crazy.
So us just looking at this like, what is happening? What's going on? He's running by other superstars. He's running by fans. There's small children out there. That just got really wild really quick.
And you know,
and then it's funny because you hear Drake after it's pretty much all said and done. It was Drake Maverick in the crowd like, forget that a-hole, keep talking.
Exactly. Yeah, don't pay attention because he won his 15 minutes of fame. But you know what? For him to tackle Bret Hart right there, automatically you are in the thing of wanting to do harm. And why? So you can be the story tonight about what happened at the Hall of Fame. See that is some pure BS to me, and I just hate shit like that. I really do.
Arguably, I don't know if it was real or not, but if something happened at the G1 Classic as well, right?
so they did have at the G1 Classic as well that I had to probably talk about tomorrow because yes, the Enzo and Cass thing. It's like, what the fuck's going on here? And if that shit was real that they did, and it wasn't part of the storyline, then fuck them. Like pure, like straight fuck them. So, all right, here, Bret Hart finishes off, and then you know, he always says that, you know, it's hard to, you know, one day you might get old, you don't get old. Sometimes you may have to get old alone because, you know, all the people that was in that Hart Foundation stuff, they're dead. And it's very, very unfortunate. So, but, you know, he does want to see them one day, or if the devil got a flat top in the pig, he'll follow them downstairs. Then we hear Anvil laugh, and then he get a standing ovation. So I enjoyed it. I could tell Bret was clearly shaken after the incident.
Absolutely. He even tried to make a little joke about it. He said, they said anything can happen in the WWE. They meant it, huh?
Yeah. So that was here there. So after the Hart Foundation, which I enjoyed it, but it was very unfortunate that Bret Hart got rattled like that. After the Hart Foundation, because I'm watching it right now as it was happening. It's time for Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Hulk Hogan comes out to induct Brutus the Barber Beefcake, you know, and of course, say what you want about Hulk Hogan, but him and Beefcake are friends, so okay. He inducts him. He keeps it short and sweet, you know, because Hogan can go on. Beefcake comes out. He's very thankful and blessed that the Lord have him survive the boating accident and his wife. So I'm glad, him hear him be humble about that. And it was a very interesting speech. I didn't have a problem with it too much. He did his family. He wasn't on there like Hillbilly Jim, so it was fine.
I don't got any negative towards his speech right there. The only thing I think that we could argue heard his speech was the placing of it.
Yeah, well, he served as the bridge between the Hart Foundation and Harlem Heat.
Right, like if that incident didn't happen, I would have more to probably say about his speech.
Probably so, but it was right after the incident.
I was so concerned about the incident, and you can see them trying to go on throughout the night. I was there. I'm watching them pull people's off the seats. That I go into the conclusion they had to pull them for police reports. So, Because I'm seeing multiple wrestlers just walk off, seat fillers come in, come back, seat fillers go off. So I was like, I see what y'all doing. I understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like this gentleman's having a bad speech right now, but I am so focused on what already happened that I can't even deal with this right now.
Mm.
And that lasts for this one and the next speech for me.
Goodness. So, well, you know what? The next speech, we got ice, cold, which it kind of bums me out that they didn't have somebody to induct them.
Wait, question. Wasn't Sue before them?
Huh?
Wasn't Sue before them?
What? I thought they. You know what? I think. Yeah. I think she was. My apologies, because I was trying to think which one went first between her and Harlem Heat, and Sue Rich. Oh God, what is her name? I don't want to get the name wrong at all. But Sue Etchiston. Thank you, God. Was presented the Warrior Award. Dana Warrior came out and talked about what the Warrior Award meant. We already know. And John Cena came out. The crowd is definitely chanting, "Please face Angle," because we already know they do not like Corbin in that matchup.
If I may add, that took me back to a joke that Beefcake made. They was like, yeah, they wanted me to be the Baron, and he was like, and no one likes Barons.
He said, I'm sorry, I just like the name Baron. I was like, yeah, good one.
Mm-hmm.
So she had a very powerful speech. She granted over 6,000 wishes in her 30 years. And which was very heartfelt is that a lot of which that she granted, those people and those kids grew up to have good lives. And one of those kids that grew up to have a good life was this kid. I forgot what the kid's name was. He came and he grew up and had 2 kids. After WrestleMania 15, I believe it was, when he met The Rock. And he stood up and they forced him to go up to the stage. I don't think he was ready to go up for the stage.
Right.
But he goes up there and it was a very heartwarming moment. And I was like, you know, it just felt good seeing that. And how, you know, you do have people in the back that are the unsung heroes and grant all these awards, and how, you know, these kids, you know, because people just hear Make a Wish and they just think, okay, well, these kids are dead, and next thing you know, that's it. Now I'm like, no, these kids can go on, even that one wish, and give them the motivation they can, or the uplift the spirit just for them to live.
I can't lie, that's kind of how I felt about it, or how I thought about it. It's like, oh man, well, at least they get that one last thing before they go. I never thought of somebody making it until that kid. I was like, oh, that does happen.
It does. I mean, it's more than we think. I mean, of course, Connor unfortunately passed away. There's some sicknesses that it's just sometimes it's those people time to go. But there are a lot of times where a wish can actually look. The body, the mind, the spirit is a very, very powerful thing, and you never know what just seeing one kid can do. And you know, I'm learning that to this day. Just seeing one kid or granting them one wish, what kind of motivation. Even though we think John Cena's corny now, because he's not, you know, his thugonomics gimmick, he does a never give up thing. But that never give up thing that he does inspires a lot of these kids. And you got these kids that's not giving up, and they fighting the disease, and they living and becoming like this kid is, with his kids and everything, and being extremely grateful. So this woman, Sue Etchiston, she deserves this award, and she didn't talk all long about it. She got to the point. It was really great, and I enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
Next up, we got so we can get through this is Harlem Heat, where Corey Graves was announcing Harlem Heat before they even came out. Yeah, I was like, yo, bro, wheel it back. So then he said, okay, yeah, he said, can I do it now? So yeah, so he brings out Harlem Heat, Booker T and Stevie Ray. Booker T, a 2-time Hall of Famer. Stevie Ray obviously did not get the memo about ceremony black and white event. This man went out to K&G Superstore and got himself his little slate gray and blue suit, and I was just like,
I want to let you know that was from the Steve Harvey collection. I guarantee it.
I guarantee, man. Well, if it was it looked a little oversized, I guess. So they get in the ring. Booker T off the bat, just runs it down like he always wanted to be like his big brother. That's who he was. That's who he admired after. And I like the things that Booker T was saying to just a little bit, such as like, y'all need to honor Sensational Sherry more than she's being honored, because she is one of the women's revolution and all the other stuff that he was talking about. But one thing I really liked that Booker T did was he gave Stevie Ray the mic, because he's been here before. And there's no need of doing a long speech like doing your speech at WrestleMania. When he was in the 2013 Hall of Fame, and they come back and do it again for with Stevie Ray. So I'm like, no, it's good. So Stevie Ray talked about the whole build from how they became the Ebony Express all the way up to the Harlem Heat. And there was one thing where he was talking about a guy that he met in the hallway that gave them confidence and told him congratulations. Everybody thought he was talking about Ric Flair, Saudi. He was talking about Arn Anderson. And the crowd kind of got swerved a little bit. And I was just like, ooh, yeah, y'all just fired Arn Anderson too. Like, damn, that I don't know how that was. But like my wife was saying, you can't just take him out of his story. That's just what happened.
Right. That was his time. That was his time to say whatever he want. And him giving the heartfelt story about how he was always the big brother.
Exactly.
Like Booker T even said, I got in trouble, but he was still there. He was like, I was always doubting this, all the way out. He said, I am only here because of him. And you can almost, and even during the speech, Stevie Ray still up there being the big brother the whole time.
It was really great. It was great to see, and he did do his "Don't Get Slapjack" reference. I'm just like, bruh, don't nobody remember that but you.
Nope.
And wrestling fans.
I did it. I'm sorry, I did it.
I know. Everybody was just like, because he had this little thing at the end of towards the end of the WCW where he carried around the flapjack, and he would always say, "Don't get slapjacked," and I'm just like, no, it's not working. I'm sorry. Take us out, Booker. As he was chanting for Spinner Rooney, he told everybody he thanked Charmel and everybody to hit it off with the "Now can you dig that sucker?" and they cheered. It was a good moment.
But what I loved on that ending, because he was like, who I want to thank? I want to thank the Usos.
Yeah.
Because he was like, they the future. I want to thank the Street Profits, because they got a future in this business. And I saw what y'all did at that takeover, giving that homage to us, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, and the Revival, he did.
Right, he's like, I want to thank the Revival, because they're one of the hardest working teams out there. He said, and before I leave, I want to let you know, this is Coffee Mania. Kofi's going to win this. And Daniel Bryan, you lost your belt this weekend.
Because he said, yeah, we got to get up to a New Day. And he said, yeah, we all here for Kofi Mania. The crowd went crazy. And he said, Daniel Bryan going to get his ass kicked tomorrow night. And the crowd was losing their shit. It was great to see Daniel Bryan be the heel and play up to it, of course.
Right.
And then, Stevie Ray trying not to get slapjacked and kind of killed it. But yeah.
But it made it funny because after he did the "Can You Dig It?" sucker, he did the sound off, and the whole crowd is standing up clapping. Daniel Bryan just sitting in the chair like, no, you get no clap. I was like, that's right. So you're playing the character well.
So throughout the night, we got these DX vignettes. Throughout the night, DX this, DX that, DX this, DX that. So now it's finally the time to induct DX. Even though I still think I would have loved for Mike Tyson to induct him. Because they inducted Mike Tyson, so I would just love to do the Mike Tyson thing. So, DX is about to be inducted. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, Chyna, and X-Pac. All in the same Hall of Fame class together. So what do? They come out with a mixture of Attitude Era DX and old and retired DX with the glow sticks and the tank. So I think it was a great entrance. They came in and they were doing all their jokes, such as, because for people who know and actually study it, everybody knows that the Hall of Fame, Vince McMahon does not like nobody thanking him at the Hall of Fame. Don't thank Vince McMahon. You can't say Vince McMahon at all. Well, guess what? DX has said Vince McMahon like about 67 times. So what you mean you can't say Vince McMahon? I'm telling you, you cannot say Vince McMahon. You cannot say thank you to Vince McMahon. So they was all playing that up, of course. And they had the jokes. Everybody was getting their... Road Dogg said, I had a speech here. He pulled out his big pamphlet of papers and saying, I think he said it was written by Hillbilly Jim or towards that because it was a Hillbilly Jim joke for how long he went. And they all grabbed the glasses, and I mean, when Trish put the cross-eyed glasses on, he said, Sean, I think these are your glasses. And then, but Sean had the big nose glasses. So I thought all that stuff was funny.
I think my favorite part of those jokes was when they was like, it was on the tail end of the Vince McMahon joke, and he was like, he will fire you if you say his name. Then Billy Gunn goes, guess what, guys?
He can't fire
me. And then the AEW chant started, and then Triple H says, don't you know he'll buy that little company to fire you again?
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh. And then he got back on the mic. He was like, he's done that. Why do you think we have so many people here?
Yes.
He's known for this. He likes doing it. And I was like, he's right.
They was doing that, and then Road Dogg read his speech, and then Road Dogg got very emotional, and once again, thank God for his family, thank God for his sobriety, thank God for him to be in the Hall of Fame with his dad, and to have the group of friends that he has. And he had to put a little video package together, which ended up with a dog humping his woman. And then Billy Gunn went, and Billy Gunn thanked his family and thanked his boys that was out there. And but he's trying to hold back tears, but then he got off the mic. Sean says, just like Billy Gunn, when you lie on you always come up short. King of the Ring jab. He said, I guess you weren't all in. And I was just like, oh, damn. That kid, I was like, they were taking shots at everything tonight. And you know what? Because that's what DX do. They going to piss Vince off. And they going to break that fourth wall and piss Vince off. X-Pac gets on there. X-Pac already admits that he's nervous. And, but before I get to X-Pac, I do like that they all did give an honor to China.
They did.
And China got the ninth wonder of the world chance and all that stuff like that. So X-Pac talked about being a 1, 2, 3 kid, and he knew he was going to get in the Hall of Fame someday, but he's happy he got in there with everybody else. And without the click, there's no DX, there's no NWO. Thank you to Scott Hall. Thank you to Kevin Nash. Thank you to Eric Bischoff, who fired him, and he came back to DX, and he's like, it's just a great time for him. He fired from the NWO and came over to DX. So it's just like, oh, this is just great. So he didn't have his drug dog with him, but he was doing the best he can, huh?
One thing I really appreciate, the X-Men, sorry, it's getting late for me.
Yeah.
The X-Pac said that was real. He was like, I thought I would never live to see this day. He was like, and all y'all that know my story out there know that I shouldn't have been alive today. Only because of the friends that I made here pulled me back from my darkness so I could be standing here with y'all today. And I was like, that's true. That's real. And he was like, anybody that want to see the work I did, I want you to look it up. And it was like Shawn Michaels jumped in. He's on the WWE Network.
I appreciate, because we know about that one night in China. Yeah, we don't even talk about that. So Shawn gets on there, and Shawn does talk. He said, I ain't gonna talk about you because my family's not here and my kids aren't here, and I'm all alone. They just left me. But I knew why Shawn was doing that, because he's been here already. And I do like when, I say, if you've been here already, give the time for other people to talk. And Triple H gets on there, and Triple H does bring up China and how his career would be nothing without China. And we got to honor China, of course, and everybody he's been in the ring with. He thanks his family, and Stephanie and his kids and his parents. And Triple H will one day mark my words, will one day get in the Hall of Fame by himself because he deserves it. But for right now to have that DX moment, I think it was really cool. So
I feel like he could be happy with just that moment.
Yeah,
he wouldn't mind.
Exactly right now. So Sean said that we ruined a generation, and they bring out the old DX podium, and when they do that, all the DX members got the chance to say their catchphrase, and it was kind of a little bummed out because this generation don't know all the catchphrases, so they couldn't get hacked because they didn't know X-Pac was more the if your ass is grass and I'm gonna smoke it. Like, oh, they didn't get that one. And then the Road Dogg did his thing with Billy Gunn, and of course Choice did his thing, and then they did all that. And then Billy Gunn, if you're not down with that, got 2 words for you: suck it. They take out the water guns, and they just start 50-year-old men shooting water guns in the audience and everything. So that's how the DX ended. How did you enjoy the DX one? Like after everything,
I liked it a lot. It was very funny. It was a perfect ending one. Of everything that happened that night, DX was great to go on last.
Yes, I agree. It was just dumb having fun. I know a lot of people are not going to like the generic 50-year-old men going out doing penis jokes and all that kind of stuff like that, but you can tell they are legit friends. They have a legit connection. Like I said, I'm a little bummed out that I couldn't hear from China and get China's stories, but her sister was there. So, I'm glad that Triple H did say that the real China is here. She physically may not be here, but she's here. The spirit's going to be here. So, I thought it was good. I thought it was a very interesting Hall of Fame. Of course, we all know what the highlight of the Hall of Fame was. Everybody want to talk about the guy attacking Bret Hart, but I think overall it was still a decent enough Hall of Fame. So, as we're going like that. But guys, post in the comments down below, how'd you guys feel about the 2019 Hall of Fame? Of course, be mindful. I know y'all mostly want to talk about the Bret Hart being attacked, which was very stupid by that asshole fan. But how'd you guys like this year's Hall of Fame? I thought it was decent enough. I had no problem with it. I enjoyed it. Post that comments down below. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this review. Stay tuned for our WrestleMania 35 review. And make sure you guys also vote for our WrestleMania match card in our community tabs on YouTube. Okay, so once again, Quattro.
Yes. Good night, everybody. I appreciate y'all listening. And if y'all really want to see the video, check out our Facebook page.
Yeah, the Facebook page will show you everything going on with the video. And once again, guys, this is NC, a place to be. Children and the Nerd Coalition is out.